Hey loves, happy Monday, good morning. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. It's me, your girl Shyla here, back with another video. If you're new here, please hit the like and subscribe button and stick around. If you are returning, I appreciate you coming back to watch another video. This is my second video. I'm gonna try to do 2 uploads a week. Hopefully I could think of enough things to record about. I think I can. I hope that you guys give me some ideas. I'm always open to new ideas for recording, but I'm gonna try to do an upload every Monday morning and every Friday morning. So please watch out for those. Today's video is going to be about the 10 things that I have learned while transitioning. Now these 10 things, they're not in any particular order. I don't know if they're like my top things. They're just 10 things that I thought of yesterday brainstorming this video while I was doing my morning workout in between sets while my mind was wandering. I could probably do a second video if you guys like these because there's so many things, but they are going to be focused on just my experiences on things that I have learned and things that I have gone through. I can't speak for everybody because everybody's transition is different. I've been transitioning for about 3 years. I've been on hormones for almost 2 years. It'll be 3 years exactly in January of this year since I started my transition. And it has been a journey. It's been an entire epic, long journey. And I never thought that I'd get to this point. I remember watching videos, watching Miss Julie Vu's entire transition before I started, or even after I started my transition, and thinking to myself, I am never gonna be to this point. But here I am, almost 3 years in, and making a video that hopefully can help some of you or any of you in the beginning of your transition while you're thinking about what you want to do and what to expect. Now, I have made some notes on my phone, so if you see me looking at my phone, it is for my notes. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I'm just trying to keep my mind focused without, forgetting what I'm talking about. So the first thing that I want to talk about is hormones. Hormones are going to change not only your outside features, but they're also going to change your entire mindset. We're going to touch into the hormones on several of the different topics because they change so many different things. But as far as mindset, I want to talk first a little bit about mindset. It's going to change all of your emotions, and I noticed every single time they increased my hormones, my dosage, I would get massive mood swings, which makes sense because you spend most of your time learning, especially if you transition later on in life like I did, you spend your entire life learning how to be a boy and dealing with testosterone and dealing with some of the anger that comes with testosterone. I remember when I was younger, and obviously the younger you are, the more testosterone you have, and you kind of get angry for no reason. But I learned as a girl, I would get more mood swings, especially with the estrogen, and it would be hard to overcome them. At the beginning, I would get the mood swings. I could feel my mind going into a certain direction, but it was hard for me to pull myself out of that downward spiral that I would go into. And sometimes it would take 3, 4, 5, even a week worth of days to get back out of that downward spiral that my mood had gone in. And before, it never was that big of an issue. It was definitely a lot more difficult to control the mood swings as I was taking the estrogen and learning how to deal with it and basically going through a second puberty. Along with that also comes new emotions. Now, I was never the person to cry at anything, but I found with the estrogen that I cry at like everything. I cry at movies that I've seen forever. I cried at Frozen last time I watched it. I cry when I play video games. I cry when somebody's mean to me at work. I cry when I'm happy. I cry all the time. It's just a thing with emotions that comes with it. I'll be the person in the movies that's crying now, and my son will turn to me and be like, why are you crying? And next thing I know, he's punching my arm, telling me to stop crying about it. Boys, that's just what it is. Okay, that is the first thing. That is hormones. There's so many other things with hormones, but I don't want this video to be like 40 minutes long, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay, number 2 is hair and body hair. Now, I have been through the entire spectrum of hair. When I started my transition, my hair was really short. Like, it was really short, like finger length short. And, you know, like I said in my other videos, I'm older, so the front of my hair was a little thinning. I was kind of, you know, self-conscious about it. I started growing my hair out about a month or two into my transition. I was like, I'm not gonna do any more haircuts. I started growing out. I didn't do any wigs. I didn't do any extensions, which I'm not knocking anybody for doing it. I mean, you know, we all do what we want to do, and we all wear what we want to wear. And if that's what you want to wear and they help you, you know, wear them, rock them, own them. But for me, I just didn't want to do it. And I feel so blessed that my Latina genes came out with my hair, and my hair has got so long and it's filled in the top and it's got so thick. And I kind of feel like I've earned this hair because I've been through all of the awkward stages. If you go back and look at my Instagram, because I took pictures of my transition in my Instagram. If you look back, you can see all of the awkward hair stages that my hair went through. And it was awkward. I look back at them now and I'm like, oh my God, I looked so bad with my hair like this. Body hair. Body hair is the worst. If you're a trans woman, you hate body hair. I hate my body hair. It was by far one of the things that gave me the most dysphoria when I started my transition. Now, before I did my transition really, really ridiculously slow. And the very first thing that I did when I realized that what it was that I was feeling inside all this time, and I realized I was transgender, I started having laser hair removal. And the first place I started having it was on my face because it caused me the most dysphoria. Now, since then, I have done laser hair removal pretty much everywhere, on basically my entire body. And if I can give you one piece of advice, if you're gonna start transitioning and you're thinking about laser hair removal, do your laser hair removal early, before you start your hormones. Because as the hormones changes your skin and your skin gets more sensitive, it starts to hurt so much more. And no matter what anybody tells you about laser hair removal, about how it doesn't hurt, it's no big deal, they didn't feel any pain, chances are if they didn't feel any bit of discomfort, they weren't doing it right. They could have turned the settings up. My laser hair removal lady, her and I have a love-hate relationship because I'll be in there and she'll be like, okay, you ready? And I'll hear the beep and I'll feel the little thing and I'll feel like the little rubber band and she'll say, on a scale of 1 to 5, how does that feel? And if I say anything less than like a 4, if I'm like it's a 3, I'll hear the machine beeping, beep, 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 beep. And then I'll feel it and she'll go, how does it feel now? And if I keep saying it's like a 2 or a 3, I'll keep hearing it turn up until I'm like a 4 or a 5. And the reason she says she does that is because you should feel some discomfort because you're getting zapped by a hot laser, and the more and if you turn it up and deal with the pain, you'll get it done quicker. If you can do it at the really low settings, but it is gonna take longer and it is not gonna work as effectively, and you're gonna spend a ton more money. Now, other than my face, I recommend doing it in your underarms and your legs and your chest, because your underarms and your legs, trust me girls, and this goes for trans women and it goes for, you know, cis women, you will thank me if you do your underarms and your legs come short season, come bikini season, come, you know, if you like to wear a lot of tank tops like I do, show off them girls, come tank top season, you will thank me the first time it gets really hot and you put on some shorts and you walk out the house and you're thinking, when was the last time I shaved my legs? And realize it was a few weeks ago, but fortunately you had laser hair removal and barely any hair is growing and it's not really visible, and you'll be good. So you'll thank me. Do it early, because I tell you, the last time I did my face, it hurt so bad right in the middle that I cried because my skin had got so sensitive. Now keep in mind, I did also say I cry upon everything. So it might just be me. I might just be a big baby. Number 3, bathrooms. I can't even tell you the anxiety that I get from bathrooms. I don't get them so much anymore. I used the men's room for the longest time, even after I started my transition. Like I said, I did it really, really slow. But the very last time I used the men's room at work, I was walking out of the bathroom and somebody was walking in, and the guy stopped and he backed up and he looked at the doorway. And he looked at me and he said, for a minute there, I thought I was in the wrong bathroom. And at that point, I realized it was time for me to stop using the men's room. So I'm not gonna lie, at work, there's been a lot of comments made. I won't get into the comments, but I've known so many of the women that work there so long that I don't want to make any of them uncomfortable by, you know, being in the bathroom at the same time with them. I don't think they would be because I'm so far into my transition and all of them are really, really nice to me. But I get so anxious anytime I have to use the women's room there. I generally just use the family bathroom. That way I don't have any issues. But on the times that it's been out of order and I've had to use a women's room, I feel this intense amount of anxiety rushing over me if I have to go in there. Like I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing, even though I know that's where I'm supposed to be. I don't get it so much anymore. I got it at first in public bathrooms, but you know, I was at a really awkward stage. I didn't look proper for the boys' room. I didn't look proper for the girls' room. And I was so worried, even though I knew I legally had a right to be in there and use the bathroom. I just wanted to pee. I was so nervous about somebody yelling at me, calling me out, causing a scene, embarrassing me. I mean, that would just be the most embarrassing thing ever, is if you're trying to use the bathroom and some lady just goes off on you in front of everybody. I mean, I would probably cry. Then I probably wouldn't, but because my hormones hadn't really kicked in as much, but now I'd probably break down in tears, which would make me mad because I spend a lot of time on my makeup. So it really makes me mad when I cry. Okay, number 4, coming out, fears, and friends. Now, touching into what I've already talked about, it took me, I did my transition so slow. I started my transition in January and I started my weight loss journey at the same time. And it took probably 5 months before I told my friends. And then it probably took 8 months before I even said anything to work. And at that time, comments were starting to get made at work because I had started curling my eyelashes and a couple people noticed that, and I had started growing my hair out, and I always had worn my hair really short. So when my hair started growing out, a couple people had made comments, and I think 1 or 2 person noticed that I had shaved my underarms, and one of the boys made a comment about, he was like, "Did you shave your pits?" And I was like, "I don't like hair." That was my excuse. I don't know if anybody bought it, but that was my excuse. And I didn't change my name and start living full-time as a girl until the first year after I had started my transition and started working on everything. Everybody's gonna be afraid. Everyone that comes out is gonna be scared, but I can guarantee you it is the best decision that you'll ever make, not having to live a lie. Living is your true self. We only get so much time on this earth, and it's horrible to think that you will have to spend more time not being happy and not living as your true self. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be easy. I'm not gonna say people are gonna be nice to you, because it is one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do was doing my transition. And it's scary at times, and it's lonesome at times, and I've felt so alone that I've just laid in bed crying, but it is what it is. The good days outweigh the bad, and that is what's most important. And I get to live as I feel like I was always meant to live. Now, friends. Friends is a tricky one. You're gonna lose friends. Everybody that you ever watch will say you're gonna lose friends, and it is 100% true. You're gonna lose friends, but you're gonna gain new friends. I started gravitating towards wanting to be, I was always friends with boys, but I gravitated, once I started my transition, I wanted friends that were girls. And I never really had friends that were girls. So all of the girls were always really, really nice to me. All the girls at work were nice. I've got a couple that I'm friends with. I had a couple that I thought were my friends that, if you follow my Instagram, you know, ended up not being my friends, and I got kind of fucked over, and I ended up crying, and I ended up alone. And, you know, it is what it is. You're gonna find out, you know, that some girls are like that, just like some boys are like that. I mean, it's hard to figure out who you can trust. And it's a journey, just as much as everything else. You are gonna lose people that you've been friends with for a long time because they don't understand, or they're narrow-minded, or it's just them. And don't let that get to you. I know it's gonna get to you, and it's hard to say don't let it get to you, because it will. It did, it bothered me. But you will make other friends to replace them, people that appreciate you and love you for the person that you are. Number 5. Awkward stage to passable stage. This goes into my awkward stage. And it's so completely, we shouldn't really focus on wanting to be passable. We should just focus on being happy. But I am not gonna lie, going from the awkward stage to the passable stage makes everything so much easier. In the awkward stage, when I would go shopping, I would get dirty looks. You know, people weren't friendly to me. They kind of treated me like an outcast. I know that customers were at work were generally nice to me, but I even had customers say, I don't want to deal with that person. Can't we just have a normal person doing our paperwork? You know, it is what it is. Everybody has their own hangups, their own issues, especially a lot of older people. I noticed a lot of older people, older than, you know, 50s, 60s, retirees, and I'm not generalizing here, but the Walmart I shop at, you know, has a lot of retired people that shop in the day, and I would get such dirty looks from them, especially from the men. I would get like the dirtiest looks from them. They were all kind of just mean to me, and you'll notice when you start getting on the passable stage, it's crazy because the way you're treated is completely different. Boys will start flirting with you. Boys will start opening doors for you. I noticed in the beginning, I never really had a problem with women being mean or catty to me when I was awkward, but as I started getting more passable, I noticed that women started getting more catty with me, almost like I was competition, which to me always is ridiculous because they can keep their boys. I have no interest in their boys. Whatever, I'll stick with girls. Number 6, tucking. Tucking is the worst. I'm not gonna lie. I hate tucking. I am not that girl to get out the tape and go crazy with the tucking and have this completely secure, not have to worry about it tuck. My tuck is so lazy, and if you're like me and you want to have a good tuck, but you are not getting out the tape and you're going to be lazy, can I give you some advice? Buy thongs. Buy a smaller thong than what you think you should normally wear. Something that is not really super stretchy, because if you get something too stretchy, it's not going to work as good. Get those for just comfortable, just to wear around, because I prefer thongs. That's just me. But get a secure thong and you can pretty much hold your tuck in place. Now, you're not going to be able to wear cute stuff. You're not going to be able to wear cheekies doing that. It doesn't work the same, as cute as they are. And there's going to be times when the tuck doesn't hold as well as you want it to, and I'm just going to say be careful what you're doing. Be careful wearing short shorts. Be careful, because you don't want to have, you know, something poke out, or you don't want it to poke out, you know? Trans girl problems. If you don't want to hear that, don't be here, because that's just what we're going to talk about here. That is literally, before I go on to my next topic, that is literally the thing I am most looking forward to about my surgery. It has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with not having to tuck anymore. I am so incredibly excited to be able to wear what I want, to come home in the summertime after work when it's hot out and put on a tiny ass pair of booty shorts to wear around the house without having to worry about what underwear I'm going to put on to hold myself in place so I'm not poking out as I sit down on the couch. So I'm not sitting there and my son walks out and something's fucking poking out where it shouldn't be. Okay, that might be TMI, but it's the fucking truth. I can't wait for that. Okay, number 7, makeup and heels. If you're like me and you are that girl that is really girly and loves makeup and loves heels, I am pretty much in heels every single day. I wear heels to work every single day. I wear heels when I go out with my jeans. I wear heels pretty much all the time. I do have a pair of flats that I wear occasionally if I just feel like giving my feet a break because they're starting to hurt from wearing my heels all week. And obviously I have my shoes that I wear when I work out. But for the most part, I am wearing heels every single day. And I will tell you 100% that it is so hard to learn how to walk in heels. My props, I'm just gonna throw it out, my props to strippers. They work on those heels 8 to 10 hours a day, standing, dancing. I tell you what, I have a job where I'm sitting, and even wearing my heels at the end of an 8-hour day, my feet are dying. I feel like I've accomplished something at the end of the 8-hour day, just making it through the day with my heels. So props to strippers who are wearing those fucking things up on the stage, dancing around, spinning on the poles, doing lap dances in those heels all night long. Props to them. You fucking go, girls. Now, I will say a couple other things about heels. Learning how to walk in heels is a challenge in its own. Learning how to walk in heels when you're fucking drunk is 1,000 times more difficult. And along those lines, not just walking in heels, but when you stumble off the dance floor and realize maybe you've had a little more to drink than you planned and you stop and the floor is still spinning, just standing still when you're drunk in heels and the floor is still moving and the room is spinning, Girl, that is an entirely different topic, and that is a whole challenge all on its own. Makeup. I live for makeup. I love makeup. Some girls, some of you lucky bitches, don't need as much makeup. I feel so dysphoric if I don't have my makeup on, and I feel like I am so easily clocked if I don't have makeup on. And so I worked really hard teaching myself, watching my favorite people on YouTube, learning how to do makeup. And it is hard, and no matter, try to pick someone in makeup that you feel has similar skin tones in you. You know, you don't want to, if you have a really dark complexion, following someone who does makeup all the time based on their light skin complexion, if they're really, really light and pale, is probably not going to work for you. You can watch their reviews about makeup to see, you know, how they feel about certain things they bought, but for the most part, it's not going to work for you because it's different. Just be patient with it. It's going to be hard at first, but you'll figure it out as you go along. Number 8, surgeries. Surgeries is something that's different for every single transgender person. I would never look down upon anybody for having any surgeries, nor should you feel bad about having surgeries. If you feel like having a surgery and it's what you feel is gonna make you feel better and less dysphoric, you have it. The first thing I did was my boobs, and I am not gonna lie, it gave me such a boost of confidence having my breast augmentation done. I can't even put it into words. I was always so paranoid that anytime I didn't wear a bra with a lot of padding, that I was like so easily clocked that it caused me so much dysphoria. Plus I couldn't wear tank tops because I didn't want to have as many straps, and I felt like you know, it didn't show as much. And you know, I tried all the tricks. I tried taping them, which let me tell you, do not tape them to give yourself cleavage because you'll fucking rip off skin at the end of the day. It hurt. I gave my cleavage. They look good throughout the day, but at the end of the day, it was the worst experience I ever had. Some people start with, you know, facial feminization. You know, I'm going to have my SRS surgery in February. That is what I want to do next. Not necessarily for anything sexual, but like I said before, so I can wear what I want to wear. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind having a BBL. I've got quite a bit of curves, but I wouldn't mind having a BBL just for some shaping on my waist, maybe a little, you know, filling out and whatnot. Don't ever feel bad about wanting to have surgeries or let anybody else tell you that you shouldn't have them. Number 9, dysphoria. Everybody has dysphoria. I guarantee you that if you ask any transgender woman, probably transgender men too, but I don't know because I can't speak for them. Any transgender woman at any point, no matter how long they've been, you know, transitioning for, no matter if they feel like they're done, there's probably something that still causes them dysphoria on their body. For me, it's my voice and my feet. I have these big feet and they drive me nuts. It drives me so nuts when I find a pair of shoes that I wear, that I want to wear, that I want to buy, that are super adorable, but I can't buy them because they don't come in the big enough size for my feet. Other than that, my voice, unfortunately, evil testosterone has already stretched my vocal cords because I transitioned later on in life, and it cannot be, unlike trans men, when they take testosterone, how it deepens their voice. With trans women, or trans women, when you take estrogen, it does not change your voice. Once evil testosterone has already stretched your vocal cords, it won't go back. So all you can do is work on the way you talk and try and, you know, talk more feminine without going over the top and sounding ridiculous. And the final thing I have for you is dating and when to tell people. Now, I don't have a whole ton of experience with this because I haven't done a lot of dating. But from the little experience that I haven't done a lot of dating since I started transitioning because I've been focusing on myself. Me personally, I think the best time to tell people is before it gets physical. If you're just flirting, whatever. If you're going to get to the point to where you're actually going to go on a date with somebody or something physical is about to happen, I feel like it's best to be honest up front and let them know, hey, before we go out on this date, before we go out to dinner, you do know I'm transgender, right? Give them the opportunity to make that decision for themselves if they want to keep going with it. They'll appreciate it later. You'll feel better about it. You'll know that you don't have this big cloud looming over your head if you go out on this date and everything is good and it's getting towards the end of the night and you're like, oh shit, what if he tries to give me a kiss or she tries to give me a kiss and doesn't know that I'm transgender? Do I just let them kiss me and then try and tell them later, and then it blows up in my face, or should I tell them now? Just get it out of the way. Because even if you really like them, it's better to know ahead of time if they're going to be accepting of it. Because if they're not going to be accepting of it, it's better to not get your heart as much involved. Just tell them, find out. If they want to bail, let them bail. That's on them. Don't feel bad about it. There's no point in judging them about it. That's just them. But then you can move on and find someone who's going to love and appreciate you for yourself. Now that was my last topic. The last thing I'm going to talk about is name changes and how I changed my name, because I had a lot of people asking for that. And I know this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to be quick. Picking your name is a very important step, and you should really think about what the name means to you and who you are inside and who you want to be. For me, I wanted something unique and I want something really feminine because I felt like that best described me. I felt like I was really feminine. You know, like I said, I'm always wearing makeup. I'm always wearing heels. I wanted something that described me. Now, I heard the name Shyla before, so I started Googling it and started trying to figure out what it meant, because I'd never met a lot of people named Shyla. I just heard the name before, and I thought it was really pretty, and it was really feminine and really delicate sounding. And I found out that it was a Hindu word that stood for strength and was a daughter of the goddess of the mountain, which I really liked because growing up, I was always out in the wilderness. That was my mom. She lived in the wilderness. She lived outdoors. Every vacation we had, it was piling up in the Jeep, up some godforsaken Jeep trail hanging off the side of a cliff, so we could get to some place where there was one campsite and nobody at all, so she could do her fishing in peace. So that to me meant so much, like it was meant to be, because she could totally be categorized as a mountain goddess. And then once I had picked that name, I thought to myself, because her name was Sue, I was like, oh my God, if I give myself a middle initial of A, her and I'll have the same initials, because she was Sue Ann Snyder. So with that, instead of choosing Ann and being the same thing, I went with Anna. So it was similar. So we both had the same initials. So it's like my mom, who passed away when I was really young. I was 26. It's like she was always with me through this transition because we have the same name. So that's how I chose my name. It was very personal for me. I hope how you guys chose yours is very personal for you, and you pick a good name when you do. Other than that, I don't have anything else. I know the video was kind of long. I'm sorry. The next one won't be as long. I promise. Maybe. I think. If it is, don't hate me. If you have any video requests, please leave them down below. I hope you all have a good Monday. Remember, like I always say, Monday is what you make of it. It sets a tone for the next week. Don't let people be mean to you, especially boys. Don't let boys be mean to you. Make sure you do your squats. Make sure you do your hip thrusts. Make sure you eat your avocados and get your protein in.